Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now back with another recap of Bad Boys Texas, episode 3, Knock Knock, Who's There? Let's just say this episode was a whirlwind. Literally a whirlwind of events. So as y'all know, it's continued off with, Anthony and Dee getting into it. Dee ended up hitting Anthony in the face and then fall, whatever. Come to find out, Dee hit Anthony with a ring, so his face broke out, and he ended up stepping up and going into another room. And all the other guys were still there talking, whatever. Next thing you know, Banger, Ahrah, had something to say. He was like, I still feel like you shouldn't have jumped in. So now Chef D and Banger going in. And the next thing you know, Lou and Banger are having some words to each other. Carry on, Raz, and Rel, they leave to go check up on Anthony, see how he's doing, and seeing whatever the case would be. Raz gives Anthony a words of advice. He was like, listen, I understand how y'all both coming from both sides of the field, but I just feel like you could have just, toned it down a little bit, but come to find that Anthony wasn't really trying to hear none of that. So eventually there's another fight that breaks out, and that happens to be Ahrah and Lou. So Carry On leaves to go check that out. And when he gets there, he was like, what happened? Nobody basically told him what happened. So then eventually he ends up leaving again, and then Carry On told Raz to go check it out. So by the time Raz go to check it out, Lou and Ahrah done went 3 rounds. Ahrah done lost all 3 fights. And by that time, Security really did break it up. And he's on one side of the table, and Lou was on that side next to D. And when Raz got there, he was like, oh, you okay? You like need to tone it down or whatever. So basically, everybody's like, just like, you supposedly got these hands, but where your hands connecting to? The air. Because they obviously didn't connect to Luke, because he got you like numerous times. And at this point, they're like, you ain't tired of fighting yet? Like, let it go. Like, you egging it on for what? Okay, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but sometimes everything doesn't need to be said in light. Like, just keep it to yourself. Okay, you feel that this shouldn't happen? Okay, say your piece, and that's just what it is. Not just keep going back and forth, antagonizing the situation that don't need to be antagonized. So now, Lou said something, Banger done said something, they done got on the same side again. Banger done threw a drink at Lou. Lou done got him, he done jumped up into the air, sucker punched him and everything, and it was just like, bro, you not tired yet. Like, let it go. And then eventually, Ahrah done jumped up on the pool table and got to where Lou was, and then Lou ended up kicking him while security was held on. And next thing you know, they hear a knock at the door. Come to find out, it's Anthony's friends. And Rel was like, listen, I know them. That's Chris and his other friends. Like, they not going to mean no harm, but whatever. So eventually, they all end up going outside. At this point, Ahrah decides to go upstairs. Like, listen, I'm just over it. It's whatever. So now that they know that Anthony's friends came, they kind of take it as if Anthony knew that they was going to all, fight each other longer than was necessary. But come to find out, Anthony couldn't leave the room where he was at due to security. So the boys are now outside, except Ahrah. He's upstairs now. And they all feel threatened because it's like, how you let these people come here? This is supposed to be a private location. They come to us, not even like trying to get in, but they banging on the door like they could have came in at any point, any second. So now everybody's on 10. One of the guys that was talking some smack, and Mo, he went and like 2-pieced them like up real quick. Like, listen, you're not gonna come here and disrespect us. Like, listen, what we got going on in this house stays on within this house. But now that you are outsider trying to come in, nah, we gotta handle business. So he gave him a little 1-2 punch, and then he was like, yo, who hit me? Who hit me? Everybody was like, I don't know, but whatever. Eventually, Rel was trying to defuse the situation. And it got to the point where Jonathan was about to come over there and knock them out. But then Rel was like, listen, he's handcuffed. It's not even worth it. Let's just back up. So security had to get Mo, Jonathan, and D and Raz them to one side so they can, go away. Raz them getting Jonathan's phone and jewelry and stuff like that. So eventually, Rail was able to defuse the situation and they end up leaving. So they all go back into the house. Anthony's still there, but Rail decided to go back and check on Anthony because he was like, those are my friends. I know they're going to go 10 toes behind me as I would do for them as I did in the past. And one of the security, I think, assistant, Ashley, she was like, no, you can't do that right now. So eventually, Rails got on the phone. He was trying to find ways to get him out the house because everybody is heated. They was like, why would Anthony do such a thing like this? So they heated behind the fact that, outsiders are now know where they live. And they think it's something different than what it is. But Anthony's like, he had no clue that stuff was going to go down because they was actually driving his car. So, yeah, eventually, Rails got Anthony out. And that was that. So then they started to get ready to go to No, it was still the same night. They decided to, let this night go and, talk about things in the morning. So they all went to bed and whatnot. So now it's the next day. Everybody's, getting their life together for the day and whatnot. Was it Mo, Prince, and Rel? They outside shooting basketball, talking about how the night before transpired. And it's just crazy that when Rel's came out, he had this wig, braided wig. And Jonathan had made for him, and he was just going on with jokes. He was like, listen, I was standing up somewhere behind, and the security thought I was a female, because from behind, he do look like a female. His body is built like that, and it was like, okay, he could pull off both looks, not honestly, hands down. He's a really handsome man, so that part, I agree. So there was chopping, the playing on the basketball court, stuff like that. And, they decided, that they were going to get ready to go out. They wanted to go to Area 29, which is a strip club. So they started to get ready for that. Next year, you have upstairs, you got Raz in his room. Jonathan goes in to check on him and talk about what happened between him and Ahrah. And he was trying to tell him that, listen, I wasn't trying to do that, but, whatever the case would be. Jonathan ended up calling Ahrah into his room. And they tried to talk it out. Basically, Raz said, he apologized if he was in the wrong. And Banga was still, iffy about it. He wasn't trying to get, hug him or talk to him like that, but whatever. So he was like, listen, this is what it is. So, Ahrah was still mad, but he was still mad at the fact that him and Lou, even though he lost, he didn't get a chance to get his last licking. But at this point, you should have just gave up and just been like, listen, okay, I lost. Let me just take this with a grain of salt. We boys, we fight and get over it. Now you still holding on to it like a girl. Let it go. It wasn't even that deep. It wasn't even your situation to be getting mad about. But, it is what it is. You got to, show that you're tough by fighting. But there's other ways around it. So eventually, Raz was like, listen, I got to go get ready for this. Go ready for tonight, whatever. Raz ended up dapping up Jonathan. Because when Jonathan first came in, Raz was working on this song. And then Jonathan started throwing some money. He was like, this is real money. So he ended up picking up some of the money, put it in his pocket. He was like, where was my money? He was like, yeah, whatever. And he left. So at this point, you got Jonathan still sitting there and Ahrah still in his feeling, but whatever. The next thing you go outside, you got D and Lou talking about what happened last night. They still mad at the fact that Anthony and his friends, they compromised their location, and they still in an uproar about that. Eventually, they talked about, D told Lou that one point in time, Anthony and him were friends, but Anthony been trolling him for over a year, so they had to get that off their chest. But D is not ready to let it go. He's about to fight him at any point in time he sees. Then we go back upstairs. Rel is charging his ankle monitor. I wonder what he did to get an ankle monitor. Rails. But anyways, at the same time, he was on his phone, whatever, and Anthony calls him. He basically lets Rel know that he ended up fracturing his thumb and his palm, and he had it up in a splint, and he let him know that, listen, I feel like this is not a safe place for me to be, and I'm not coming back no more. That's a wrap. I just wanted to let you know that, and goodbye. That's just what it is. So now everybody's getting ready to go out for the club later on tonight. Everybody's looking their best. Whatever they get into their little Sprinter bus, bad boy Texas buses. They're so cute. They got like this all nice thing. Like the vibe was totally different from the girls. Like the girls had a real tour bus that like went from, it had two parts, the front and the back, and it had beds to sleep in. The guys was just like a big, like, how would you put this? Like a stripper bus or party bus, where all the seats were together and whatever the case be. So they get on the road and whatever. They got there before they go to their next town. And Ralph was like, listen, just want to let y'all know that Anthony said he's not coming back forever. Jonathan was kind of mad at the fact that he still talked to her. But then again, y'all was all friends at one point, so why are you really that mad? But whatever. And Jonathan was happy that he's not coming back, so they all toast to drink, whatever. They pull up to Area 29. Some strippers come on the bus. They having a good time, to check, feeling the vibe, and start dancing with someone. Then they get off the bus and they go inside the club, and the Zeus people, the waitress, whatever, they gave them a grand entrance, shouted each other out. And yeah, they eventually had a good time. Orlando sat back because, he's trying to honor his marriage and his wife. So he wasn't really in the vibes of, doing what they had to do because he honors his wife. So everybody's having a good time, throwing money, strippers dancing, having a good time yet again. Raz got on the stage, performed some of his music, started dancing with the strippers. All in all, everybody was just having a good time. That's just what they needed. And I honestly like the fact that on this season, they have like more of like a brotherhood than opposed to the first season. Everybody was on go, was ready to fight each other, pull each other's hair out like they're a bunch of females. But anyways, the guys put it together, had a good time. And that was it. So fast forward to next week's episode. Some things happen, go left. I think D gets into a Raz on the bus. And it just takes a turn. But hopefully, they pull it together because that's what boys do. They rough it up a little bit, tough it out, and they get back on good terms with each other. But yeah, that's that. Hopefully, it goes that way. But we will see. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this recap of episode 3. Knock Knock, Who's There? Y'all tune in on ZeusNetwork.com or the Zeus Network app every Sunday. You can tune in to see what these bad boys really got going on. Yeah. Bad boy style. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.